Do you know what it's like to feel invisible? To walk through your own home like a ghost, existing but never really seen? That was my life for over 3 decades. I was a wife, a mother, a woman who gave everything, body, soul, and years, to a man who barely looked at me anymore. And then, one day, I met someone who did. He wasn't just any man. He was my neighbor's son, 23, bold and reckless in a way that made my stomach tighten. He wasn't supposed to see me, not as a woman, not as someone desirable, but he did. And when I realized how much I liked it, everything changed. It started with the way he greeted me across the fence. Assalamu alaikum, Hajiya. His voice was deep, rich, laced with something I couldn't define. The way his eyes lingered when he said it, on my hands, my neck, the curve of my waist, felt different, unsettling. I ignored him, pretended not to notice the heat in his gaze, the way his lips twitched into a smirk whenever I caught him staring. I was old enough to be his mother. It was improper, shameful even. I would not entertain it. But when he withdrew, when he started treating me like everyone else, like I was just another woman who had long passed her prime, I realized something terrible. I missed it. I missed the way his attention made my skin feel warm. I missed the way my breath would shorten when he smiled. I missed feeling. One afternoon, he was mowing the lawn, his shirt off, skin glistening under the sun. My throat went dry. I had no business looking, but Allah forgive me, I did. And then, as if compelled by something stronger than my fear, I spoke to him. Your mother must be proud, I said, forcing my voice to stay even. He turned off the mower, wiped his brow, and grinned. Why do you say that? You're hardworking. His eyes swept over me, slow and deliberate. You've never really spoken to me before. I swallowed. Maybe I should have. That was the beginning. From then on, conversations came easier. They started as harmless exchanges, small talk about the weather, his university classes, his plans for the future. But soon, there were questions. Deep, personal ones. Please like and subscribe to this channel if you love this story. Thank you for subscribing. Now let's continue. Are you happy? He asked one evening. I hesitated. What kind of question was that? I should have scolded him for the impertinence, but something inside me cracked open. I don't know, I admitted. He nodded, as if he understood something I didn't. I tried, God knows I tried, to push away the feelings building inside me. I turned to my husband, made desperate attempts to rekindle what had long died. I stayed up waiting for him, dressed up in ways I hadn't in years. But he barely noticed. When he did, he scoffed. Why are you wasting time with all that? Who are you trying to impress? I wanted to scream. You. I'm trying to impress you. But it was pointless. He had moved on long ago. He just never had the decency to leave. And then there was him. The boy next door who made me feel alive again. One day, he asked for my number. Nothing serious, he assured me, his eyes gleaming with mischief. Just so we can talk when you're bored. I shouldn't have given it to him. But I did. Our chats started innocently enough, but then the messages grew bolder. His words were intoxicating. He told me I was beautiful, that he thought about me more than he should, that he imagined how soft my lips were. My hands would tremble as I read them, my body tingling in ways I hadn't felt in years. I should have stopped it. I should have blocked him. But instead, I found myself smiling at my phone, my body heating up from the things he said. And then, one night, I broke. I invited him over. I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe just a conversation. Maybe the thrill of seeing him inside my home. But the moment he stepped through the door, something unspoken passed between us. The way he looked at me, hungry, unashamed, set me on fire. One thing led to another. And then, I wasn't just someone's wife. Someone's mother. I was a woman again. That night changed everything. For the first time in over 30 years, I didn't feel invisible. I felt wanted, worshipped. He touched me with a hunger I had forgotten I could inspire. When he moaned my name, whispered filth against my skin, I felt years of neglect melt away. My body shook and trembled when he found his way inside. He was so strong, gentle, and at the same time fast. We were bouncing up and down the bed. I wrapped my hands around him and begged him not to stop. I had never felt that good in a long while. It didn't stop there. Whenever we had the house to ourselves, we took advantage of every stolen moment. The thrill of secrecy made it even more intoxicating. He would come over when my husband was at work, and we would lose ourselves in each other. I started looking different, glowing, some would say. I got my nails done, invested in soft creams that made my skin radiant. He noticed everything. "You look beautiful," he told me one evening, his fingers brushing against my wrist. I blushed. Me. A woman in her 50s, blushing like a schoolgirl. And then, my husband started noticing too. At first, he was just irritated. "Why are you always on your phone?" he snapped one night. I shrugged. Just keeping myself entertained. He scoffed but didn't probe further. Why would he? In his mind, I was old, undesirable, incapable of being wanted by anyone else. If only he knew. The more I pulled away from him, the more restless he became. He started questioning where I went, why I was suddenly interested in perfume, why my skin was always so soft. But he never truly looked at me, not the way the boy next door did. And then, it all came crashing down. One afternoon, my husband came home earlier than usual. I didn't hear the car, didn't hear the front door open. But I did hear his voice, sharp, loud, and filled with a fury I hadn't heard in years. "What the fuck is going on here?" We jumped up. My lover scrambled off me, his eyes wide with panic. I grabbed the sheet. My breath caught in my throat. "Why?" my husband muttered, his face red with rage. "You whore." The boy, no, the man who had given me back my life, was out the window before my husband could reach him. And then, it was just the two of us. I expected yelling, insults, maybe even a slap. But he just stood there, shaking his head. "You disgust me," he spat. I should have felt guilty. Maybe a part of me did. But more than anything, I felt something else. Freedom. I sat up, met his gaze, and said, "If you think I'll cry and beg, you don't know me at all." His nostrils flared. "You've disgraced yourself, this family." I laughed. After everything he had put me through. "And you? You frolicked with younger women and called me ugly. Did you think I never knew?" His face paled. He opened his mouth, then closed it. "Tell the neighbors. Tell our children," I continued, my voice steady. "I dare you." Silence filled the room. For days, we avoided each other. I could feel his eyes on me, watching, calculating. Was he planning to harm me? Was he waiting for me to break? I refused to give him the satisfaction. And then, I made my decision. The morning he left for work, I packed a small bag and left him a note. "Don't bother looking for me. I want a divorce, and I will take what I am entitled to. I've wasted too many years in this prison. I want to live." By the time he read it, I was in a 5-star resort, wrapped in silk sheets, my lover's hands on my body. For the first time in decades, I was truly alive. Please like and subscribe. Don't forget to drop your comment if you love the story.